Trainer here, coming at you with another Cooking with Your Trainer segment. And this recipe this week comes to you from Paleo Slow Cooking. So today, yes, I'm going to be utilizing the good old-fashioned crock pot. So crock pot cooking is just not for the winter. It is year-round, and it is unbelievable. It is a time saver. So I do have to preface this. This is a Sloppy Joe recipe, so I know what you're going to say. When I was growing up, Sloppy Joe's was some kind of concoction between like brown sugar, mustard, relish, ketchup, and something else. But this is not. This to me reads more of like a meat sauce that you put over spaghetti. But obviously we're not going to be putting that over spaghetti today since it is paleo, so no grains. It is gluten-free. And I did modify this recipe, and it'll be in the details of this video. So I went ahead and already browned up my ground beef. It's sitting in a crock pot. I used a pound of grass-fed beef, already cooked in the crock pot. So basically what you're gonna need is just some sea salt, some olive oil, 8 ounces of tomato sauce, 6 ounces of tomato paste. I already chopped up some celery here. And yes, I did cheat. You should always use fresh vegetables, but in this case, I bought a frozen bag of onions and pepper mix, like a fajita blend. That goes in there as well. We also have chili powder, ground mustard, and organic maple syrup. So, begin. Ground beef's already in there. What you're gonna do is just go ahead and add the celery. I use about 3 stalks of celery to get this going. And I will explain my sweet potatoes here in a minute. And I'll also give you a little bit of a tip. Alright, so let's go with tomato sauce. And once you have this in here, you're just going to cook it on low for about 2 to 4 hours, depending on your crock pot. My crock pot tends to cook a little on the faster side, so I got to be careful and keep an eye on that, because it will burn up the food even on low if I leave it in there too long. Alright, let's get the tomato paste in here. Alright, got that done. Trying not to make too much of a mess here. And we're going to do a half a teaspoon of chili powder. I personally just put a full teaspoon in there, but the recipe does call for a half a teaspoon. I like a little more kick in my Sloppy Joes. Equal. Now for the ground mustard, you need a teaspoon and a half of the ground mustard. I just kind of eyeball that. Now just going to grab your sea salt, or I use Himalayan salt here. I'm just going to start, just get a couple in there. That's it there. And then a teaspoon of the maple syrup. And again, I just kind of eyeball it. It gives a little bit of a sweetness to it. There you go. You don't need much. And then last but not least, I put a half a bag of the fajita mix in the bowl. You could put a whole bag if you want, but my kids aren't too high on onions and peppers, so I try not to torment them too much. But half a bag is good. And that is essentially it. What you're going to do is you're going to take the crock pot and just kind of stir that all up. Nice and mixed it well together. Okay, and that is all you have to do for the Sloppy Joes. Told you, quick and easy. I'm gonna put this aside. Now I'm just gonna go plug this in. And there you go, plugged in on low, ready to go. Now for your sweet potatoes. Now there's 2 ways you can do this. Again, I like mine over sliced sweet potatoes. You can also put this over like zucchini noodles, so that'll take place. That will replace your pasta if you're a spaghetti person. So you could do spiral zucchinis instead of the sweet potatoes. So I do have to warn you, you can hand chop the sweet potatoes, obviously, but I use the mandolin, and I will say, be very careful with this thing. I literally almost took the top of my thumb off one time because my vegetable slipped off the top here where it gets pinned in. So just be careful. Once it's in, I kind of like to grip it here so there's no chance of my finger sliding off the mandolin, but just be careful. Now once you have your sweet potatoes in, preheat your oven to 350 degrees. You want to line a cookie sheet with aluminum foil and parchment paper. I use a freezer baggie. You just can pile the sweet potatoes in. And the sweet potatoes really do complement that sauce very well. Alright, so you're just going to add a little bit of the olive oil in here. And just going to give that a good shake. Now just dump onto your baking sheet. Put that aside. Kind of nicely spread everything out here. So again, oven's preheated at 350 degrees. You want to bake anywhere from 30 to 35 minutes. Lastly, you want to kind of blast them with a little Himalayan salt. And in the oven they go. And that is it. That is your Paleo Slow Cooking Sloppy Joes with sweet potatoes. So I hope you enjoy it. In the meantime, go to my Facebook page, Beauregard Personal Training, like and please share. And everyone have a great week. Thank you very much.